The chair requests any deletions, corrections, additions to the board members at the agenda at this time. In order to add an item to the agenda, the matter must come before the attention of the county subsequent to the posting of the agenda, and the matter requires action before the next regular board meeting by the Board of Supervisors. Any such actions? Nope. Receive any brief reports at this time relative to the County of Del Norte from the programs and projects possessed by the 2x2 committees, gold committees, and the board and staff of travel and training reports. And we'll begin, as always, with Supervisor Starkey.
Thank you, Chair. I'm a little nervous because we got a full house tonight, so I'm going to have to power through this. I attended the Youth Advisory Board that was developed in response to Prop 64, and part of that grant requirement is a Youth Advisory Committee that helps us guide the decisions and the proposals with that $3 million funding that we received. So I was able to meet with the participants, learn a little bit about their backgrounds and some ideas that they were considering with how to allocate that funding. I worked on a media campaign for the fireworks campaign. City Councilwoman Kelly Shalong, Harbor Commissioner Gerhard Weber, and I have been assigned to the task of coming up with media campaigns. So we met to come up with some catchy slogans. I'm going to try one out on you guys today where it's come to Del Norte County on vacation, but don't leave on probation. I attended the city council meeting. I attended the teen court planning session. I then attended the ad hoc meeting for the fireworks discussion, in which we decided that we should probably all have our ordinances on the same page. So today we gave direction to county council to be able to work on that ordinance. The city already has their ordinance in place, and so it's important for the county and the harbor to have an ordinance that is similar to that. So next year, when we really work hard to crack down on the illegal fireworks, that we are all consistent as a county. I toured Last Chance Grade with Congressman Huffman and Congressman Schiff. It was an honor to be asked to join this prestigious group. And we showed Congressman Huffman, I'm on the Congressman Huffman working group for Last Chance Grade. We showed him some of the projects that we had been doing on this, that we've been doing to kind of maintain Last Chance Grade. And he invited Congressman Schiff up here, who very well could be our next U.S. Senator. And we talked a lot about the bake sales that we're going to need to have in order to fund this. We need federal dollars for that, so it was a very important meeting in order for us to show him the project, in order to get his buy-in on what was needed. We had Supervisor Short and I were accompanied with Caltrans, Matt Brady, Jamie Mattioli, Seth Cohen. We also had the state and national park representatives there, and we were able to really answer the congressman's questions. And he was actually kind of a funny dude. You know, sometimes you think that they're probably stiff, but he was, you know, inspecting the actual, if you go down on Last Chance Grade, you see the area where they've netted it. Well, we walked down to the base of that hill, and it's impressive. But at some point, somebody said that they've just drilled holes, or just drilled in the supports into a goop, is what they called it. And Adam Schiff had a good time with that. Certain that he's never going to forget Del Norte County after that. After the next day, him and his wife were taken on a hike, and they did canoe rides, and they really fell in love with our area, and they were so happy to learn that there is a direct flight from Burbank to Arcata, and so they will likely be up here more often. I organized and participated in a large community cleanup. Code enforcement has this kind of agreement with me that if there is an opportunity for a homeowner that maybe just needs a little help before we have to cite the property, that I work to collect volunteers together, and we then go out and clean up areas. In this particular place, we had 30 such volunteers, and we were able to fill a 30-yard bin within an hour and a half. We spent the rest of the day separating out tin or metal and wood, and I can't thank Del Norte Mission Possible enough, as well as the other partners that participated with us. I will say that, and this is their words, not mine, is that for them to have to wake up on a Saturday at 8 o'clock and get out of the swamps to get to this cleanup was a feat in and of itself, but 30 of them showed up. 30 of them worked hard. And so it was something that I will always cherish in my heart, that the work that they did for this community to help clean up the blight that is around here. And then my last thing is that I'm going to be attending a groundbreaking ceremony today, and I encourage people to show up with us. It's at 4:30 at the corner of Gary. It's by Joe Hamilton School, where the city has created a development where it's going to be 40 units for seniors and 100 units for low income and the workforce housing. And I think that they're doing a remarkable job. The city has created, by the time it's all said and done, I think 300 units that are going to be here. That's really making a dent in the housing needs that we have here in Del Norte County. And that is my report.
Thank you. Supervisor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I missed the last budget hearing that we had for the DA and sheriff. Heard it was quite a lot of fun for you guys. Sorry about that. But in place, I attended our quarterly California State Association meeting where we took up a lot of issues around propositions, whether or not to support them or not. The two that were most controversial and took several hours of discussion with the various other counties there was around Proposition 35, which really went to support county hospitals. But like most counties, especially Del Norte, we don't have a county hospital. So this bill is really targeted, this proposition is really targeted about 12 county hospitals in the state of California. So it didn't do a lot. And so in the case, that vote really turned out to where there was no support. And so it won't be receiving any support from the California State Association of Counties. The other one that took a considerable amount of debate, but ended up gaining a tremendous amount of support was around Proposition 47 and the repeal of Proposition 47. The proposition is on our ballot this November, will be called Prop 36, but it's had a lot of effort to repeal Proposition 47, which is really around the homelessness issues and drug addiction issues and theft reduction issues. Where back several years ago, there was basically a $900 mark for retail theft that was set. And so the California State Association of Counties unanimously chose to get behind Prop 36 because we are seeing the impacts in our communities from really not having these as felonies in our communities and being able to clean up a lot of the drug addiction that we're seeing. So those were a considerable part of the discussions, and I was glad to see us taking an advocacy role in those pieces. Also attended a Border Coast Regional Airport Authority meeting, Senior Center meeting, had a Zoom meeting with Ricardo Laria, the insurance commissioner, around some actions that are hopefully going to take place in December with his new executive plan that he rolled out last year with the governor's help. This is an effort to reduce the number of people on the FAIR Plan in the state and bring insurance companies back into the state of California with some increased fairness. Hopefully it does work. Hopefully it will provide avenues for folks in our area to go out and get off the FAIR Plan and seek a reduced price, but that is yet to be seen. And my fingers are crossed that his plan is effective, but we'll know in January and February if people are able to re-up. Also had a meeting with Karen Gaffney of the Natural NCRP, which is our North Coast Resource Partnership, and also had a separate meeting with our insurance working group with CSAC. And that's the end of my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Short.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since our last meeting, we traveled with our Assistant CAO, Mr. Hooper, and Chairman Wilson to Eureka. I met with their former Economic Development Director. He had actually taken another position, wasn't employed by Eureka anymore, but met with us on his own time. Pretty gracious for him to do that. We talked about all things developing that economic development position. Learned a lot from him, so wanted to express my appreciation to him and also to CAO Alicia Hayes and Supervisor Rex Bone for setting up that meeting. It was very enlightening. Also attended the Solid Waste Management Authority meeting, pretty much routine business there. As Supervisor Starkey said, I attended that last chance grade stakeholder group meeting and tour with Congressman Huffman and Schiff. It was pretty important to see him there. Federal dollars will be a key player when it comes to building that bypass. So it was good to see him willing to come up and see the actual places where the roads and the underlayment of the road is actually splitting apart. So it was good to see him up here. Met with our economic development TAC meeting, and we're moving toward working on that feasibility document to bring to the board as promised. We met with the illegal firework ad hoc committee. Seems like we're all on the same page there and working toward coming to a unified solution for next year. One last thing is I checked with our asbestos abatement contractor at our old mental health building facility. He said that they are going to be there for another possibly 3 more weeks, so we're a little behind schedule from what we had hoped, but I'll do my best to keep you guys apprised of the training burn date when we get closer to that time. And that's all I've got, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Borges? Good. Most of everything that I did at the last couple of weeks has been covered by others because we're in attendance working on the TAC, as well as talking numerous department heads over various critical issues involving infrastructure improvements, as well as dollars needed for programs that are under consideration within our strategic plan. So having those discussions, meeting with several non-governmental organizations, collecting data, especially related towards economic development, talked with the school district as well as other partners, potential partners that are going to be critical for any kind of economic development success, and that's ongoing. And so we'll continue to seek out information in working groups that we can help better to look at the future for Del Norte County. At this point in time, we will welcome anybody to come forward. We're on the consent agenda. Comments from members of the public may be heard at this time regarding matters within the consent agenda only. If you have any kind of comments about what is on the consent agenda, please come forward.